Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Bahashem Rakal. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. To you I say Shalom. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying for the flock of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh. Second Esdras chapter 16, starting from the top. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Now we know that word woe goes into death and destruction. So death and destruction to Babylon, right? Which is, America. Well, these countries, Babylon, Egypt, and Syria, are all linked to America spiritually, right? And Asia too is linked to modern day Russia, because that's where the land of Russia is now. All right, because we know, based on biblical prophecy, Russia and the U.S. are going to shoot missiles at each other, but also America's going to receive missiles from China, North Korea, Iran, and so on and so forth as well, man. America's going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, man. All right. Verse 2, 2nd Ezra 16 and 2. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack, Salakia. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. I mean, you might as well start mourning now, because your destruction is at hand. All right, this is the point I wanted to get to, because I'll show you later, Salakia. 2nd Ezra 16 and 3. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? And I was going into that because earlier I was talking about a personal conversation in America and this defense system for hypersonic weapons. Well, America doesn't have defense for hypersonic weapons, which China and Russia, and I believe another country, does have right now hypersonic weapons, man. Hypersonic nuclear missiles. And this is from airforcemagazine.com, and it's from January 19th, 2022. All right, so it says how hypersonic weapons maneuver and what to do about it. Hypersonic weapons do not zigzag across the sky. The stresses and heat generated by a 10,000-pound glide vehicle traveling at 15 times the speed of sound are so great a sharp turn will rip the weapon apart. So something traveling that fast can't make sharp turns. So if it does, it'll bend and it'll render their weapon useless, man. It'll just detonate in the sky. All right. Yet even a slight adjustment can make these weapons unpredictable and yet nearly impossible to intercept, given their speed. And both China and Russia have developed weapons that pose significant and destabilizing threats. U.S. military leaders say it will take about a decade to counter those threats with new defenses. All right. See, this is from January 2022. So they're saying the U.S. needs about 10 years. A decade is 10 years. So military leaders of Babylon say they need about 10 years to counter the threat of hypersonic nuclear weapons. And that goes back to 2nd Ezra 16, where it says, a sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is set among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? All right, because these hypersonic weapons, even though they're being launched by other nations, are truly being sent by the Lord, man. And there's no defense for weapons against the Lord, man, that the Lord has. You create a space force, which is folly, because there's no defense against the Lord, man. All right. Continuing this article, neither the Missile Defense Agency nor the Space Force have revealed to the extent which they can track hypersonic weapons or how close the United States is to being able to intercept a hypersonic weapon. They got no answer for it, man. Because we know the U.S. and Babylon and Edom, Esau is proud. So if they had a defense, they'll boast about it. Yeah, they'll say things. Yeah, we know about their weapons, but we have something for that. All right, if they refuse to answer a question because they don't want to tell you the truth, man. All right, unlike ballistic missiles that could travel predictable trajectories, hypersonic weapons can fly low, evading radar, and can maneuver during the cruise phase. They're intending to quickly destroy highly valued targets such as aircraft carriers. All right. Now I brought this out too because the news is talking about on the news right now is World War III. All right. Now we know America won't be destroyed by nuclear missiles until the MOTB is implemented. All right. So prophecy still has to play out and play out in order. Right. World War III cannot come to its conclusion until the chip is out. But I'm bringing this article out because to show you that there's no defense for these hypersonic weapons, which truly are weapons of the Lord, man. All right. So it says hypersonic weapons are intended to quickly destroy high-value targets such as aircraft carriers. All right, and they said they travel at 15 times the speed of sound. All right, so they said by that estimation, to get from Russia to New York, it'll take about 17 minutes for a weapon to hit. All right, and that's no time at all, man. For something to travel literally halfway across the planet and hit a target, that's and hit a target in 17 minutes. That's mind-boggling, man. But also, that's coming from Russia. You gotta understand, Russia has ties with Venezuela and Cuba as well, right? So they could host their missiles there. And if you launch a missile from Cuba to New York, it'll probably take only 3 to 5 minutes to get there, man. And what defense can you have for that, man? All right, this is from Jurist, a legal and news commentary website. This is from February 23rd, 2022. So this was last week. Russia postpones Cuba debt payments amid deepening ties. All right. Russia's lowest house parliament said Tuesday that Russia has agreed to postpone some debt payments owed to it by communist-run Cuba until 2027, just a few days after the two countries announced that they would deepen their ties amid the escalated Ukraine crisis. All right. So Cuba's having Russia's back in this Ukraine crisis. Now, if you look at social media and all throughout the mainstream media, you see the U.S. is pushing to back Ukraine, right? They'll say things like "Pray for Ukraine," putting memes out there, right? Because memes and social media is a weapon of Esau Edom too, all right? They control what goes viral and whatnot too, all right? This is why, and they know what's out there. This is why they could strike videos with only 2 views, right? It's not because it's getting reported, because Esau Edom really controls what's going out there, but they can't stop the spread of the truth because it's going out too rapidly. All right. All right. The statement released by Duma, lower house, said that Russian lawmakers have ratified an agreement signed initially with Cuban counterparts in Havana in 2021 that amended the loan terms. The statement further said that the loans, worth about $2.3 billion, provided to Cuba by Russia between 2006 and 2019, helped underwrite investments in power generation, metals, and transportation infrastructure. All right, so basically, Russia gave Cuba $2.3 billion as a loan to help build up the nation. All right, because power generation, transportation infrastructure, metals, building roads, and having your access to resources, natural resources like metal and generation of power. Right, the more you have of that, the greater your nation can be. All right, let me jump down to Russia's decision to postpone some debt owed comes at a time when Cuba is facing severe social and economic crisis that has led to severe shortages in food and medicine, and it follows last year's protests that are believed to be the largest since Fidel Castro's 1959 revolution. All right, so now Cuba is down bad. All right. So now you have an Edomite nation coming to help a Jake nation. It's not for no reason, man. It's not out of the goodness of their heart. It's for a reason. And that reason most likely is to use them to store missiles to launch at America. All right. Russia has continued to deliver humanitarian aid and provide loans to Cuba, even though the military and economic ties between the two countries have faded in recent decades. But this is the point I wanted to get to. I can't believe I read all that. Slovakia. Over the last decade, Cuba has also restructured its debt with China, Germany, Mexico, as well as with Japanese commercial debt holders. In October 2021, Cuba reached a deal with the Paris Club of Creditor Nations to postpone an annual debt payment in November this year. All right, so this also kind of proves that Cuba are truly Jakes, man. All right, tribe of Manasseh, because what do? They owe money to Russia, China, Germany, and Mexico, and Japanese. The only other Jake nation is Mexico. All right, so why does a Jake nation owe all this money to foreign nations, man? It's because of the curses. All right, but let's get back to these missiles, right? So basically, if you have missiles housed at Cuba, they're gonna get to America even faster. All right, so let's jump to Isaiah chapter 34. Slocky, I want to continue on 2nd Ezra 16. 2nd Ezra 16 and 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Right? It's because there's no defense for the weapons that's coming to destroy America. Verse 6. May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may any one quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn? So no one's going to put the fire out in America, man. Scripture talks about how the smoke in Babylon is going to kindle forever. Verse 7. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that could drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? Alright, that's the point I wanted to get to. The Lord is sending these plagues, man. Nuclear missiles is the final plague of America, man. That's the final plague Esau Edom is going to receive before they go into captivity, man. Alright, this is Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 5. Actually, I'll start from the top. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Alright? One of the reasons why the indignation on the Lord is upon all nations, because every nation had a part in the captivity and destruction of his chosen people. Alright? The Lord compares Israel to jewels, to precious things, to the apple of his eye. Alright? So if you hurt something precious to the Lord, expect payback. Alright? But again, the only reason why we're put into captivity because we went off. Alright, so we're included in all nations where his indignation is going to rest, because 2/3 of our people are going to face destruction. Alright, verse 3. Their slain shall also be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as a leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. Alright, heavens being dissolved, and heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's talking about the missiles and the mushroom clouds that these nuclear missiles give off when they detonate, man. Alright, because when you see a mushroom cloud literally rolls out like a scroll, man. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Alright, so the modern day sword is your gun, right? But if you have a sword in the sky, what is that? That's a missile, man. If your sword is bathed in heaven, that means it spends more time in the skies than it does anywhere else. Right? Before when it launches, it spends more time in the sky than it lands and detonates, man. That's it. Alright, so it bathes in heaven, and it shall come down upon Idumea, which is the modern day Esau Edom, which is America, man. Alright, this hasn't happened yet. No sword has been bathed from in heaven has came down upon Idumea, man. This hasn't happened. Alright, so this is future prophecy, and this talking about the destruction of America, man. Alright, verse 6. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with the fatness, and with the blood of the lambs, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Right, a great slaughter is coming to the land of America, because the majority of people in America right now are going to die, man. The only people that's not going to die in America are the elect, man, because they're going to get beamed up and delivered out of here. Alright, let me get one more. I'm going to wrap it up. I didn't want to make this too long. Alright, Slakia. I want to get also a couple more articles too. It says Cuba to deepen ties with Russia as Ukraine tensions mount. We just read about that in the last one. So let me close this out. And this is from January 30th, 2022. So this is before even Ukraine situation escalated to the point it is at now. And this is an opinion article too. It says Putin is already in Cuba and in Venezuela. Now Russia and China are helping Maduro militarize the Colombian border. All right. Again, this is putting a battery back of all the nations, right? Because also China's also talking about going into Taiwan and reclaiming that land as well, man. Just how Russia's trying to do with Ukraine. All right. Russia's deputy foreign minister Sergei Ryabkovych, whatever, warned in a January 13 television interview that his government wouldn't rule out deployment of military assets to Venezuela and Cuba if the U.S. continued to defend Ukraine sovereignty. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan dismissed the comment as bluster. All right, man. It's Esau on Esau violence right here, man. All right. Esau's gonna end up taking each other out, man. But the Lord's gonna be the one that finally, puts an end to everything, man. All right, but so you got government officials in Russia warning in January 13th, saying they're gonna put military assets in Venezuela and Cuba. What's military assets? That's weaponry, right? Something that the military owns, which would be weaponry, missiles, right? Hypersonic missiles to be specific. All right, and I did a lesson probably about a year ago about how the U.S. power grid is weak, man. If you hit if 9 of like the 56 substations, or maybe 57, I could be wrong, but if only 9 of them went out, right? If 9 of them were attacked or went down, then the entire the power grid for the entire country will go down too. All right, that's how bad this infrastructure is over here, man. That's how bad the supply chain here is weak. Infrastructure here is weak, right? And the power system here is weak too, man. Because it could be taken out very easily, man. They say, what is it? It takes nothing to have 9 spies to sneak into your country and destroy 9 items. All right, what's 9 lives compared to destruction of a nation, man? That's an easy sacrifice if you're coming at it from a military general standpoint, man. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 4. I'm gonna start at verse 6. No, I'm gonna start at verse 7. Get to the point. The lion has come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. He has gone forth from his place to make thy land desolate, and thy cities shall be laid waste, without inhabitant. For this gird you with sackcloth, lament, and howl, for the fierce anger of the Lord is not turned back from us. Alright, the lion coming from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. That's talking about Yahweh Shai, man. Alright, he's coming with the chariots. Alright, and the chariots plus these nuclear missiles are what's going to leave the land of America desolate, man. Alright, no one, more specifically, will ever live in America ever again, besides desert animals, man. And this is the day we're praying for, man. The destruction of the downfall of our enemies. Actually, let me get one more. I'm gonna wrap it up. All right, because this is the spirit we need to be in, man, for these things to be ramped up, man. Salakia. Ain't no point of praying for this place, man. It's already written that it's gonna be destroyed, man. So thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, man. Alright, Sirach 25 and verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Alright, but I'm going to wrap it up with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. Until next time, I want to say Shalom and Abad Babal.